Word for today is vesture. So a vesture is defined as a garment, a covering, protection and security, character, name, the same pattern, authority and power, the ability to perform, the kingdom, the stature of maturity or the bringing of fruit to perfection. John 19:23 tells us that the garment that Christ wore was without seam, meaning that it was perfect, undivided, and whole. This is showing that Christ's garment, his covering, was a representation of the perfection of his fruit, his character, and his actions, showcasing authority and power by the same patterns. In Revelations 19:13, it states that he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. Dipped in is translated as baptized, to cover fully in the New Testament, and his name is called the Word of God. Luke 4:32 says that they were astonished at his doctrine, for his word was with power. Matthew 9:20 through 21. And behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him and touched the hem of his garment. For she said within herself, if I may but touch his garment, I shall be whole. Matthew 9 is showcasing a woman that had been diseased in her own blood for 12 years. No doctors could help her, no medicine could save her. But in her heart she had confidence that if she could just touch his garment, that she would be made whole. If the hem of his garment had so much power that even the very touch of it could restore what no man could, how much more power and authority would you receive if you put on that garment? If you walked within that vesture? How much power do you think lives within the walls of the kingdom? Galatians 3:27 says, for as many of you have been baptized into Christ, have put on Christ. Colossians 3:4 states, when Christ, who is our life, shall appear, then shall ye also appear with him in glory. Exodus 26:33, and thou shalt hang up the veil under the taches, that thou mayest bring in thither within the veil the ark of the testimony, and the veil shall divide unto you between the holy place and the most holy. And Exodus 30:29 says, and thou shalt sanctify them that they may be the most holy. Whatsoever toucheth them shall be holy. Luke 12:32, fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. This power was given by inheritance, a covenant of peace, a vow of everlasting life to those that believe, to those that say, I do. The holy place and the most holy is defined as someone anointed. But though they were both called of God, many are called, but few are chosen. In the most holy dwelled a covenant not built with hands, in which were fleshly tables of the heart, not written with ink, but with the Spirit of God. The budded rod of Aaron that swallowed up serpents and held the testimony of the sea turning into a highway. A golden pot full of manna, the bread from heaven, the hidden treasures of the Most High, the wisdom of God. This was in the Ark of the Covenant, and the Ark of the Covenant is within those that believe, as stated in Galatians 3:22. The power that is given to those that have been chosen is a power so great that whatsoever toucheth them shall be holy. No evil can come nigh thy dwelling. The covering over the Ark of the Covenant is called the mercy seat. And the mercy seat is defined as the habitation of mercy. God spoke to Moses in Romans 9:15 saying, I will have mercy on whom I have mercy. And Isaiah 16:5 states that in mercy shall the throne be established, and he shall sit upon it in truth in the tabernacle. If Christ was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and we are clothed with him, then our vesture has to be one with him. Our character, our name, our fruit has to be of the same pattern, seamless, woven from the top throughout. I need somebody to read 2 Corinthians 5, 2 through 4.
Right now?
Read it loud.
In this we grow, earnestly desiring to be clothed upon with our house which is from heaven. If so be that being clothed, we shall not be found naked. For we that are in this tabernacle do grow, being burdened, not for that we would be unclothed, but clothed upon, that mortality might be swallowed up of life. Now he that hath wrought us for the selfsame thing is God, who also hath given unto us the earnest of the Spirit.
In Exodus 12, during the plagues of Egypt, the people of God were told to take a lamb without spot, a male of the first year, and cover the post with his blood, that no death may enter into their house. Post is translated as cup, something ordained, and a vesture. And Luke 22:20 states that this cup is the New Testament in my blood, which is shed for you. A cup is also defined as an inkhorn, a pen for writing. And the New Testament is defined as a contract, a marriage license. When Christ was crucified and out of his side came water and blood, the New Testament was fulfilled, and a contract of marriage was signed, not with ink, but with the blood of the Lamb. That through this outpouring, those that were separated for his purpose may be covered in a vesture dipped in blood and receive the vow of eternal inheritance, a covenant of peace, life, and life more abundant. Why? Because in the definition of vesture is wife and friend. And John 15:13 says, greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. I need somebody to read Revelations 19:7 and 8.
Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of saints.
The bride and the son have to be one. When they are clothed in the same vesture, they have on the same mind and the same judgment. The bride had made herself ready. And to be ready means to be prepared, something molded, perfected, complete, quiet, ready to devote one's life as a sacrifice, a treasure. It states in Revelations 19 that to her it was granted, meaning that it was given to her that she may be clothed in fine linen, clean and white, which is the righteousness of saints. Her vesture, her character, and her patterns were clean. And Hebrews 31:05 defines clean as pure, chosen, innocent, precious and free, a holier place, approved and acceptable. 2 Timothy 2:5 states, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightfully dividing the word of truth. And 1 Peter 2:5 says, ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house, a holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices, acceptable to God by Jesus Christ. In the book of Jasher, chapter 21, it tells a story of how Abraham went on a long journey to visit his son Ishmael. And when he reached his tent, he was greeted by his wife, who showed great servitude, and it pleased Abraham. He told the woman to send a message to his son, telling him to put or keep the nail in the tent, because he approved of her, and she was accepted by him. This was an allegory for him saying, she proved herself to me, keep her. Tent is defined as the habitation of God, and hands and feet. And the nail was placed in the tent, in his hands and his feet, as if he were saying, she has proved herself to me and to my Father. I will keep her. Colossians 2:14. Blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that it was against us, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross. Revelations 2:17. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saving he that receiveth it. And Exodus 23:20 states, Behold, I send an angel before thee, to keep thee in the way, and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. In Colossians 2 it is stated that in him dwelleth the fullness of the Godhead bodily, and ye are complete in him, which is the head of all principality and powers, in whom ye are also circumcised with a circumcision made without hands. Buried with him in baptism, you were risen with him through the faith of the operation of God, blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, that was contrary to us, and he took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross. Revelations 2 says that to him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written. To overcome is defined as to have a seal upon, a ring, to be taken as a wife. And the white stone that held a new name written is translated as a pearl, a clean heart, a precious thing. The wife of the Lamb, those who have overcome the world, have been given access to the hidden treasures of God, and in her clean heart is written a new name that no one knows but they that receive it. And the definition of receive is a wife, smooth stones shaped for a purpose, a weapon, a city, from her closet, the little flock. In Matthew 6:6, it is stated, When thou prayest, enter into thy closet, pray to him in secret, and he will reward you openly. And Isaiah 56:7 says that his house is called a house of prayer. John 1:12 says, As many as received him, to them gave he power. So I'm going to get somebody to read Joel 2:16.
Joel?
Joel. Revelations 21, verse 2 and 3. Revelations 3:12. I'm going to have a couple more after that. Okay, you can start.
Joel 2:16. Gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children, and those that suck the breast. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber, and the bride out of her closet.
Revelations 21:2.
And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Here we go. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them, and be their God.
Revelations 3:12.
Okay. Him that overcometh.
You go ahead. You got it. Jaden, you can do John 1:32.
Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name.
John 1:32.
And John bare record, saying, I saw the Spirit descending from heaven like a dove, and it abode upon him.
Matthew 20:23. And then someone else can get Revelations 3:20 and verse 21.
20:23. Okay. So 20:23.
Matthew.
And he saith unto them, Ye shall drink indeed of my cup, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. But to sit on my right hand and on my left hand is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared of my Father.
Revelations 3:20 and 21.
Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him, and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame, and am set down with my Father in his throne.
The name of the bride is New Jerusalem. She is a holy city set on a hill, the light of the world. The bride had to enter into her closet to be ready for her marriage. She had to be pure, undefiled, in a house of prayer, because in her closet is the vesture, the seamless garment that she must put on. She is clothed in righteousness, and righteousness is wisdom, truth, and gentleness. In Matthew 10:16, Jesus speaks, saying, "Be ye wise as serpents and harmless as doves." In Songs of Solomon, chapter 2, the bride is speaking in adoration of her husband, saying, "O my dove." Remember, just as John seen New Jerusalem descending from heaven as a bride, he also seen the Holy Ghost descending as a dove. A dove is significant because they have only one mate for life. They always find their way back home, and they have been used as messengers for kings during battles for ages. Dove is defined as a wife, affectionate for her husband. The bride of Christ is told not only to be as gentle as a dove, but also as wise as serpents, because wisdom is more precious than rubies, and within the bride is a clean heart, a precious thing. 1 Kings 4:30. And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country, and all the wisdom of Egypt. Matthew 6:29. And yet I say unto you, that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Matthew 12:42 states, "For there is a greater than Solomon here." And Hebrews 12:28. Wherefore we receiving a kingdom which cannot be moved, let us have grace, whereby we may serve God acceptably and with reverence and a godly fear. Though we are but a little flock, we have received a kingdom that cannot be moved, a mountain untouched. In order to be the bride of Christ, we have to be made ready. We have to be prepared to devote our lives as a sacrifice. In order to receive the inheritance and be an heir to the throne, we have to be arrayed in wisdom. We have to be pure and set apart from the world, a house of prayer. In the story of David and Goliath, all it took to destroy his enemy was one small, smooth stone. And in the definition of wife, it is not only a smooth stone, but a weapon. Just as David, Christ took the weapon out of the hands of the enemy and used it to destroy him, and we are the weapon. We were pulled from darkness into light, a woman pulled out of her blood and told to live, that we may be a city set on a hill, a light to the world, a messenger to lead the people back home to their first love. Our hearts must be moved from hardness, and we must uproot bitterness and embrace gentleness and the spirit of wisdom. We must be taken. But my question to you all is this: are you free? And are you single for God?